I'm going to pause here and talk to you a little bit about the stage we're in right now, which is stage 3, and that's extracting. We see that there's primarily 9 development areas in this stage, and I'm going to define some of them a bit more to bring it to life. But essentially, think mixed realities, bots. If you use Facebook Messenger, you will see that it already has hundreds and thousands of bots. You can listen to Sheryl Sandberg talk about how Facebook is planning to use bots even more in the future, and essentially wearable technologies. So the 3 main things that I would like to discuss are also my favorite, the virtual personal assistant, which is things like the Google Assistant, which is tied into Google Home, or Amazon Alexa, or Apple's Siri. So that's the sort of thing that is a virtual personal assistant. It has AI built into it. It has machine learning built into it. It can anticipate how you're feeling and thinking and give you suggestions or do tasks for you based on that. And then the next thing would be wearable technology. So as the virtual personal assistant technology moves out of smartphones, because let's face it, a lot of this tech is still inbuilt into our phones, we will probably have a phase where you don't need to use a screen anymore, and you will have a wearable technology that also has that, the ability to do that. And then, of course, mixed realities, which is relaying virtual information onto the real world. So this is an example of the virtual assistant, if my video plays. Nope. OK, I'm just going to describe it to you. So essentially what it does, she uses the virtual assistant to say, hi, how can I, and the assistant says, how can I help? And she uses it to order a lunch for herself. But the virtual assistant pretty much guesses what she likes. The assistant knows that she likes a certain kind of drink, that she likes kale, that she's health conscious, and already knows her address. So by the time she finishes talking, the virtual assistant, which is Google Assistant, has ordered her food to her address via Uber Eats, which is pretty great. And then if you think about the Google Assistant technology moving out from smartphones to wearable tech, a good example of this is Sony's Xperia Ear or Apple's AirPods, which they're pretty much forced on consumers, which is when you don't need to use your hands anymore, but you can make gestures and movements and still use some of that technology and do errands for yourself. And then this is mixed reality. You might be in a basketball court waiting for a dolphin to pop out. But essentially, it's relaying over virtual elements onto the real world. And I'm just going to show you a small video that brings this to life.
See the muscles on top of the skeleton all at the same time. You can bring them in and out and exactly understand where things sit.
You can take any anatomical part and show any of it. You can move it around. You can make it kind of translucent so you can see through the outside, and that really helped me understand how cardiac anatomy worked. I actually had a moment where I found the aortic valve, and it was the first time that I'd actually seen the aortic valve in relation to all the other anatomical structures. It was a way of seeing it that you couldn't do with an actual heart.
I think this will improve students' confidence in learning anatomy dramatically.
By creating simulations with the HoloLens that lets them have an experience where they can fail, that would be the best way to learn, because we don't allow people to fail too much in real-life medicine.
With HoloLens, you could imagine having a class standing around a model, almost like a tour group in a museum, where they're all interacting completely naturally.
Right, so that's a university in the States using Microsoft's HoloLens to essentially use it to teach their students medicine and anatomy. I particularly like the student who says that he would not have imagined seeing the artery in the heart that way before. That excites him, but obviously those doctors then have to perform those operations in real life. So using that technology to learn and fail time and again, as their professor described, is pretty amazing. So that's all happening right now in this stage that we're in in today, all those technologies are real. Mixed reality does have a lot of controversy associated with it, but there are a lot of places that are piloting this already, and it is in action. So the question is, how can we prepare for this future? Because the future is already happening, and it's coming our way. And there are several things that you can do. First of all, as marketers, which a lot of us are, you should start thinking about creating a data strategy for your clients and for businesses. This should underpin everything that you do, all the campaigns that you run. And then start investing in knowledge management or more cognitive thinkers. Start thinking about how you would trial virtual personal assistants or mixed realities in various campaigns that you do. And then also start thinking about partnering with those organizations that are doing a lot of cool stuff in this space. There's actually a lot of great companies in Slovenia that are participating in this activity, and I'll mention some of them a little bit later.